Hey guys, I wanted to share with you one of the weirdest games of chess I've played in a while, and it was a 3 minute game. It started off kind of normal. We get a, Scotch game, I thought, and then they turned it into the Scotch Gambit. Okay, fine, I've played this before. I bring out the knight. This is all pretty standard stuff. And then they played knight to g5, which is a little bit of a, I want to say sideline, like it's not the main line, but it is a line. So I struck it with d5. You don't want to allow the fork here. And so the best way to do that is d5. They took it, and I played queen to e7 check. Now this I've seen before. Usually I'm playing this from the white side, so I knew that this was a pretty good move. It's kind of annoying for white because they don't get a chance to castle. And so they played queen e2. And at this point I thought, okay, we're getting a pretty easy game. I'm not easy, a pretty simple game. I'm going to trade the queens, and we're going to go into an endgame, and whatever. Nothing really exciting is going to happen. But watch what happens over the next several moves. So I played knight to e5. I'm attacking the bishop. Okay, nothing crazy there. White goes for the check. Okay, fine. I said, let me go ahead and block and gain a tempo on the bishop at the same time. So we trade the pawns, and I did achieve that. Remember, it's defended here by the knight, so white can't capture me. Okay, so they go back. And then I said, all right, let me just kick the knight out. And what I was expecting was the knight's going to go back. Maybe I'm going to pin it, and then they're going to defend, and we're probably going to trade some pieces, and the game goes on. And I felt like, okay, this is, whatever, normal game, right? But watch this. F4. And now here, things start to get a little bit crazy. So we have two pieces that are both under attack. So I could try to save my knight and then take this later. But the problem with that is there's also this pawn over here, which is going to lead to a fork if I move my knight. So I don't really want to do that. So what exactly should I do? So I decided to just go with the check. Why not? Like, let's just be aggressive. Go ahead and get a piece out there while I can and see where the king moves and go from there. Okay, great. King to f2. And I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and take this. And when white takes me, I was planning on jumping my knight in with check and then dealing with this later. Because initially I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have two problems here, right? But since I can go with check, that's going to solve one of my problems, and then I'll deal with the other problem. Okay, so knight comes in. King goes to e1. And I could have played king to d7, which Stockfish says actually was the best move, and we probably would have gotten somewhat of a little bit more of a normal game. But no, I decided to go with check, which Engine does not like. And it gets really, really crazy. Watch this. c3, I take it. Now, white decides to go ahead and go for the fork, but they also have to pay attention to what's happening here because this is very dangerous. If I'm able to capture here with check, not only is it a check, I'm about to take one of these pieces and get a queen, right? So very serious stuff. But white throws in the check. I move my king, and I'm thinking, okay, great. I have my pieces all on active squares. I have my rooks about to, start to join the party. I have this very serious threat. What could possibly go wrong, right? Well, king to f1, and I don't find the right move. Now, you can see the eval bar over there go crazy, and if you would like to pause, what do you think the winning move is here for black? Actually, there's a couple of winning moves, but there's two in particular that are very good. All right, well, if you had a chance to look at that, the first move is actually pretty obvious once you see it, knight to g3 check. Now, when I was playing this game, I was kind of focused on this area of the board, to be completely honest with you. This is what I was looking at, okay? I wasn't even really thinking about this. This wasn't on my radar at all. I was thinking about taking here because I want to come in here. I was thinking about my rook. I was thinking about my knight. I was thinking about, trying to save this, but then my knight, and just all this stuff. And it's, of course, a blitz game. I have 2 minutes, so I'm not going to spend a ton of time. So I didn't see knight g3 at all. But the point here is that, of course, if white tries to take me, then we jump down here with the rook, and you can see there it's actually checkmate in a few moves after that. I guess you just start taking more stuff. Rook takes c1, and you're basically just taking everything. And if white doesn't have time to take you because of this, and you get a queen, sorry, this, and you get a queen, so it's very, very bad. Okay. And if they don't take your knight and they try to run here, do you guys see the follow-up? You got a chance to look at that. Bishop c5 is beautiful. Very nice checkmate here. They can block, but then the bishop delivers the checkmate. I mean, this is pretty cool, right? So very nice move, which I missed. Okay, knight to g3. Now, the other nice move, if you said, was c takes b2. And why is this such a good move? Well, white doesn't have time to take either of these because whatever they take, guess what? I'm getting a queen. Not only am I getting a piece, I'm getting a queen, which is huge, right? Same thing if they take my rook over here. So white probably has to recapture. And then, guess what? I go for knight to g3. So this was kind of the key move, which I missed, but I could have thrown in this capture first if I wanted to. Okay. So I didn't see that, and I didn't think as long as I probably should have at this position, but I thought knight to d2 was a pretty clever move because in my mind, I was thinking if the bishop takes, I can actually really take either way. Actually, not this way. No, I couldn't take that. I was going to take this way. This is what I'm going to do. I'm threatening the queen, and then if they take me, I was going to take back. And after this, I thought to myself, okay, I got 2 bishops for a rook. That's a good trade. This is going to be a winning endgame for me, which is true. Stockfish agrees, but it wasn't as good as the other line. Also, when I played knight to d2, what I failed to realize is that white is not obligated to capture me. And that's exactly what happened in the game. They just moved their king, and I'm like, oh, well, that's kind of silly. What did I accomplish by going there? I still have a problem with my rook. Okay, fine. So watch what happens next. This was so fascinating to me. So I attack the bishop. White captures and counterattacks my pieces. So now we have this piece is hanging, and this piece is hanging, and this piece is hanging, and I could trade if I want to here, but I could also take here, or I could just ignore that and take the bishop, and I didn't really know what to do. So I decided, let me just throw in a check, because at least it saves one of those pieces, right? And it's check, so why not? But then king g3, and now we have a new piece that comes under attack. So again, we have this one, and this one, and then some weird stuff going on here with the knight that's just sitting there. It's like, how did this knight even get here? I mean, can you imagine if you just walked up to the board after, and like, how did this happen? I don't even know. So I decided, let me go ahead and take that. Okay, check, f6. And again, look at the situation that we have here. I don't think I've ever seen this before in a chess game, or if I have, it's been a while. One minor piece is just sitting over here, hanging. Another piece is sitting here hanging. Another piece is sitting here hanging. And another piece. 4 minor pieces are just in different areas of the board, just sitting. You can just be captured. This is weird. Like, you don't see this very often. So in the game, I'm like, okay, I have a minute on the clock, and I have no idea what I should do, right? Do I save the knight? Do I save the bishop? Do I just leave both of them and take this guy? Or do I take this guy? Or do I play a different move? I could also move my rook somewhere. Or, I mean, there's so many moves, right? How do you even calculate this? So I decided, you know what? Oh, and it's white's turn, by the way. Yeah, because I just played f6, of course. Sorry. So here, wow, yeah, I'm tired. And then I realized it wasn't even my turn. No, that didn't really happen. Anyway, you can see the confusion, right? I mean, there's so much going on. I didn't even know what was happening. And white, same kind of deal, right? Do they save their pieces? Do they take my pieces? If so, which one do they take? And white decides, well, I'm not going to take them. I'm just going to bring the rook over here and put you in check. So again, I'm like, well, great. What do I do? Do I move this? Do I move my king? Do I move this way or this way? So I decided to block, which is blunder. But I was like, let me save a piece and block at the same time. Now, Stockfish doesn't like it because bishop d5, and then I'm going to lose it. And I don't know what's happening at that point. But white captured here. And I said, well, I have 2 options now. May as well take this guy because it just looks like that's a more natural square for my rook to defend my bishops. And so I took that. And then we have check. I went here. He captured, check, and finally, my opponent made a significant mistake. King to h4. If you'd like to pause, what move did I play next? You had a chance to look at that. The move is bishop to f2. It's a fork, and I'm just winning the rook for free. There's nothing white can do about that. And now I'm finally not just up a piece, I'm up a rook and a piece, which actually was significant because if you look at it, I only had, the piece for 3 pawns, which really, I don't know if it was going to be enough to win the game with such slow time. But now, I do have a pretty significant advantage. That being said, I only had 30 seconds on the clock, and I have no pawns, which means I can't, push a pawn and get a queen to make this easy on myself. No, I have to figure out a way to checkmate with these pieces. And it's not necessarily that easy with 30 seconds if white's going to do a good job of putting up a fight. However, the nice thing is that the king was already stuck on the edge of the board, so it did make my life a little bit easier. I decided to double up the rooks, and then I just marched the king over, and there was really no way for white to stop checkmate. I decided to go this way. Okay. Crazy game. I mean, just absolutely nuts, particularly that moment back here where we had so many pieces, right, that were under attack. Nobody was really taking them. Pretty wild stuff. So Hope you guys enjoyed that. I just wanted to share that game. I don't play games like that very often. So anyway, stay sharp, play smart, and take care.